Hello, this is Lillian, welcoming you to the 1967th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline the 21st of August 2014. The readers this week are Joan, Beverley, Rod and myself, Lillian, with Colin and Cassandra on the controls. The items that we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Fernand Boulan, Harry Brewer, and performed by Jean-Jacques Perry, and is used with his kind permission. Local stories include Tory MPs call for Iraq crisis debate, council slammed over riots funds, irresponsible dog owners fined for failing to clean up, and average speed cameras should stop drag racing. Before we go to the news, a special notice about changes to the way we bring you the Enfield Talking newspaper. As you may have heard on last week's tape, we will be changing the way we produce the Enfield Talking newspaper. After much thought and in consultation with our listeners' representatives, we have decided to stop producing ETN on cassette and move our production to memory sticks. We plan to make this transition before Christmas. Whilst this is a change which will take some time to get used to, we are confident that the use of memory sticks will allow us to improve the service we offer to our listeners and make ETN more attractive to new listeners. We want to make the transition as smooth as possible, and so between now and Christmas, we will be offering advice and support on using the new technology to those listeners who need it. Some listeners may already receive information from other sources on memory sticks and will be confident in using them. Some listeners may have the facility to play memory sticks, but not realizing it. For instance, if you have a recent concerto or daisy player, you will have the facility to play memory sticks, even if you do not already receive media in this format.
If you do not have the facility to play a memory stick, we are able to offer listeners an easy-to-use player device for a discounted price of £10. We will also be able to come and visit you to explain how it works. We can offer a player device on free loan to any listener in receipt of means-tested benefits. The memory sticks are simple to use and will be returned and reused each week, just as the cassettes are. Using memory sticks will allow us to provide more information each week, including recordings of national magazines from the wide selection available via the RNIB and TNA UK. In order for us to support our listeners, we would like to know who is confident in using memory sticks already and who would like to receive more advice and support. Unfortunately, we do not have an up-to-date telephone number for all our listeners, so it is difficult for us to contact everyone by telephone. In order that we make contact with all our listeners, this week we will be issuing a card with each tape, secured with a rubber band. If you have the facility to play a memory stick and do not require any assistance from us to play them, you can discard the card.
However, if you do not have the facility to play a memory stick and would like us to contact you with more information about obtaining a player device or to arrange a home visit to demonstrate the new technology, please return the card to us with your tape. Alternatively, if you prefer, please feel free to contact us directly with any questions or queries about using memory sticks. Your listener's representative, Diane de Jersey, can be contacted on 0208 805 6578, and the chairman of ETN, Phillip Dawson, can be reached on 07843 445 963. The next Enfield Vision Forum meeting on Monday, 1st of September, has had to be cancelled. This is due to the caretaker not being available at the Park Avenue Disability Centre. The next meeting will be from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. on Monday, 6th October.
And now a further special message from the Cinema Exhibitors Association. The Cinema Exhibitors Association card was introduced in 2004 in response to requests from both cinemas and organisations representing disabled people. The cinema card costs £5.50 a year and allows you to take a companion or carer in for free. You would pay the price you normally pay for a ticket. Also, lots of cinemas now have audio description, which gives you a description of what's on the screen around the dialogue, so you get a better sense of the whole film and story. You can ask for a pair of earphones when you book your tickets. For more information, visit www.ceacard.co.uk or telephone 0845 123 1292.
3 years on from the riots that rocked the streets, Enfield Council has been criticised for securing the lowest amount of regeneration money of all the London boroughs affected by the Trouble, and the potential for job creation of Garden Enfield, the market gardening project used by the Council in its funding application, has again been called into question. It comes after a new report into the London Mayor's Regeneration Fund revealed that the authority applied for and received only £600,000 of the £70 million made available by Boris Johnson after the disturbances in August 2011. Haringey and the South London Borough of Croydon, both of which were badly hit, received 28 million and 23 million respectively. All of Haringey's funding will be used to regenerate Tottenham. Merton in southwest London received the second lowest amount, £1.6 million. Enfield Council, which has so far spent a third of the money, said the market gardening scheme would see the birth of cooperative growing model where residents, community groups, business work with the authority to grow produce and explore avenues for selling crops commercially, creating 1,200 jobs. Earlier this year, the project came under fire from Deepak Shah, whose business, Health Fair Chemist in Southbury Road, Enfield, was ransacked during the riots. He said the money should have been used to rejuvenate the borough's high streets. And speaking this week, Terry Neville, leader of Enfield's Conservative group, said the council had aimed too low. There is a shortage of building skills in the borough which needs to be addressed, and there was an opportunity to apply for more money to improve the vibrancy of Enfield Town. But these chances have not been taken, he said. This was always a pie-in-the-sky project. How they think it will generate such a number of jobs is frankly off the wall. The council hit back, saying it was on track to spend the full allocation by the end of 2015, in line with the conditions of the Regeneration Fund, and a number of specialist growers had already been employed at the project site at 40 Hall Farm in 40 Hill. It added that the scheme would have related economic benefits, including food processing, logistics, marketing, and accounting. Alan Sitkin, Cabinet Member for Economic Development, said, "Investing time and money in this economically and environmentally sustainable industry would have huge long-term benefits for the local economy. This project is also meeting volunteering and part-time employment opportunities, providing the training and skills so important to helping people secure full-time employment."
3 dog owners have been collared for failing to clean up after their pets. The trio will pay a total of £1,618 after each one was spotted walking off without cleaning up their dog's mess. Each would have paid £80 if they had paid at the time of the incident. Robert Wiggs of South Street, Ponders End, was caught on January 22nd, walking off after allowing his dog to defecate on a grassy area next to a footpath in Ponders End recreation ground. After failing to pay an £80 fixed penalty, he was prosecuted and subsequently pleaded guilty on August 7th. He was ordered to pay the £80 fine, £20 victim surcharge and £150 costs. Laurie Ann Fenton Paul of Grampian House, Edmonton, did not appear in court for her hearing on July 17th, but was found guilty in her absence and fined £200 and ordered to pay costs of £354 10p and a £20 victim surcharge. She too admitted knowing it was an offence to allow her dog to foul and not clean up after it, and admitted she didn't have bags with her to clean up. She was also issued with an £80 fixed penalty notice, which she failed to pay, and was instead prosecuted by Enfield Borough Council. Franco Vignales of Ramney Drive, Enfield, did not attend court for his hearing on July 31st, but was found guilty in his absence, fined £400 and ordered to pay costs of £345 10p and a £40 victim surcharge. He was spotted letting his dog foul in bushes near the entrance to Soham Park, car park, and also claimed he had no bags on him. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, Councillor Chris Bond, said, "Allowing your pet to foul in the street and then leaving the mess for someone else to stand in is pretty despicable and disgusting behaviour. Not only were these dog owners revolting for failing to clean up after their animals, they were also irresponsible." I should say so. By refusing to take responsibility for their own actions and failing to pay their fixed penalty notices, they have ended up being prosecuted for failing to pay their debt to society and will now have to fork out much more. I don't think so, actually. They're not going to pay. None of them, are they? I don't think they're going to.
Moving on. Speed cameras would solve the problem of drag races, according to a police sergeant. Cruisers, speeding drivers who flock to the A10 to compete in drag races every Sunday evening, have caused misery for those who live close to the A10. Sergeant Stuart Gill, who has been working on the problem to clear troublemakers from the retail park on the A10, told the Enfield Independent that Transport for London, TfL, which is responsible for speed cameras, once had an idea to put in average speed cameras. He said, "If TfL had put in the average speed cameras, I am sure this problem would not still occur." As it is a fine juggling act to keep all our resources in the right places, and we are doing the best to curb the problems residents have. He stressed that not everyone who goes there speeds. He said, the people who gather there are, on the whole, car enthusiasts and law-abiding citizens, but one or two people are spoiling it. It would not be beneficial to have all of our resources on a Sunday evening at the A10. Traffic police did patrol the area last Sunday, and people did disperse. The Enfield Independent reported residents' fears that someone will eventually be killed by this drag racing. However, Sergeant Gill revealed that the police are still collecting all results on incidents on the A10. He said, "We are re-evaluating our strategy for the A10 and we are still collecting data. The A10 ebbs and flows and we are still not certain whether the A10 cruiser problem is seasonal."
Enfield North MP Nick Dubois and his Conservative colleague in Enfield Southgate, David Burrows, have issued fresh calls for Prime Minister David Cameron to recall Parliament over the crisis in northern Iraq. Following a letter sent to Mr Cameron last Sunday, in which they said the severity of the crisis imposed on Parliament a moral obligation to it to be properly debated this week, the Tory duo said that the need for MPs who are not due to return to the House of Commons until September the 1st to vote on Britain's involvement was growing by the day. The situation in northern Iraq has escalated in recent weeks with the advance of Islamic State militants who control large areas of Syria and northern Iraq. Home to millions of Kurds, where it has been reported religious and ethnic minorities have been killed on a mass scale. Referring to the 1994 genocide in Central Africa, the situation was described by Mr Dubois as another Rwanda waiting to happen. The issue is so important that Parliament's involvement is critical, so that all the options, military and humanitarian, can be properly debated, he said. This is an important region strategically for Britain, which has a massive interest in a good political outcome as well as a solution to the humanitarian crisis. An emergency session would also allow discussion of developments in Gaza, he added. Mr Dubois, who met members of Enfield's Kurdish community yesterday, said it did not automatically follow from his stance that he was in favour of British military involvement. In August last year, the Prime Minister recalled MPs from their summer break early to vote on whether the UK should join the US in airstrikes on Syria, and was forced to back down after Labour and a number of coalition MPs, including Mr Dubois, refused to support the proposal. This time round, Mr Cameron has resisted calls to reconvene the Commons. Mr Burrows said if Parliament was recalled, politicians would get proper legal advice and can consider all options. At the moment, we are all spectators and commentators from afar. Edmonton MP Andy Love, who is on holiday in Spain, said, if further action needs to be taken, then that absolutely needs to be debated in Parliament. But at present, the focus must be humanitarian. I remain unconvinced of the need for military action and would continue to oppose boots on the ground.
A schoolgirl who was deported from the United Kingdom before taking her A-levels has received the necessary grades to go to university. Yashika Bhagirathi, aged 19, formerly of Fox Lane in Palmer's Green, and a previous pupil of Oasis Academy Hadfield, was sent back to Mauritius without her family in April, despite a protest campaign led by her friends and teachers. However, Miss Bhagirathi sat her A-levels in her homeland and has received the grades she needed. She said, "I really want to thank the staff and students of Oasis Academy Hadley for helping to make this possible. When you join Oasis, you are told that you are becoming part of a family. The last few months have shown me that this remains true, even when you're halfway across the world." The student, who was predicted straight A's, faced a tumultuous final few months in the UK, with spells at Yarlswood Detention Centre jeopardising her education. She added, "Now it's time for me to begin a new chapter in my life, a chapter in which I look forward to leaving the turbulence, controversy, and attention all behind."
A chance discovery during a lunchtime walk unearthed a stone urn which had been missing for more than 20 years. The urn, which is believed to date back to the 1920s, was found by Alex Ferris, the new green spaces manager for Lee Valley Regional Park, in a ditch beside Turkey Brook, Enfield. He was walking through the area between 40 Hall and his office at Middleton House. The urn, which originally belonged to collector and horticulturalist E.A. Bowles, is the missing twin of another in a collection of Middleton House in Bull's Cross. Mr. Farris told the Advertiser about the moment when he spotted the urn in the ditch. "It was unmistakably something special," he said. "I knew at once it wasn't from 40 Hall. I knew that these kinds of stone vases can be very valuable, and obviously I knew that it shouldn't be there. I thought, well, it has either been stolen from a garden or it's from Middleton House." Mr. Farris did not want to move the heavy stone urn. I shouldn't think so. I imagine it was massive. So he took a photograph, and when he returned to his office, he showed it to senior gardener Brian Hewitt. Mr. Hewitt instantly recognised the urn as the second of a pair that had once featured prominently in a collection of artefacts belonging to E.A. Bowles. Although the two men could not work out how the urn had ended up in a ditch, Mr. Farris feels that it could have been as the result of botched robbery. It seems as though someone maybe tried to steal it but couldn't carry it as far as they thought they could, so ended up just ditching it in a field, he speculated. Well, obviously that's what happened, wasn't it? I don't know why he bothered in the first place. But anyway, Mr. Farris admitted that uncovering the urn had brought out something of the amateur treasure hunter in him. But he insisted that he would not be spending future lunch breaks roaming the grounds with a metal detector on the off chance of uncovering more of Bowles' missing treasure. "I'm really happy to have been able to add to the heritage of the site, and while we have no idea how valuable it is financially, it is hugely valuable to the collection to be able to reunite a pair of beautiful stone vases," he added. I'm pleased about that.
Celebrations are underway across the borough after students received their A-level results. Overall, a 98.2% pass rate was achieved by pupils, a 0.3% improvement from last year's results. There was also an increase in A-star to C passes from 74 to 76%. There was considerable improvement for Bishop Stortford School, which saw its pass rate increase from 94 to 98%. Broomfield jumped from 94 to 96.6%. Highland School improved to a 99% pass rate, with Oasis Academy, Hadley, rising from 95 to 98%, and Winchmore School rising from 97 to 99%. Sixth formers at St Anne's Catholic High School for Girls in Oakthorpe Road, Palmer's Green, were among those delighted with their good results. Stephanie George, 17, earned a place at the University of Kent to study law and criminology. She said, "I'm looking forward to going to university as I am excited to start something new. I am happy I got in." Precious Robinson Bailey, 18, is heading to the University of Westminster to study business management. She said, "I am really content. The revision process was tough. It was hard, but I am glad I persevered." Enfield student Rhys Greenblatt, who attends Woodhouse College in Finchley, gained 2 A-star grades and an A and is going to Durham University to study psychology. Schoolmate Rathai Balasubramaniam from Edmonton achieved 3 A-star grades and will study medicine at King's College London. Meanwhile, students from Barnet and Southgate College in Wood Street, Barnet, exceeded their own expectations with a 100% pass rate in all core subjects, including chemistry, English, and further maths. Caleb Curton is originally from Texas and moved to England with his family 3 years ago. He achieved an A-star in law, A's in government and politics and English literature, and an A-star in his extended project politics project. The 19-year-old is heading to King's College to study law and eventually hopes to become a barrister. He said, "I've had a great experience studying here and I'm grateful to Barnet and Southgate College for helping me realise my dreams. I'm looking forward to studying further in London and fulfilling my career aspirations." Enrico Mullings, 21, of Muswell Hill, had a challenging couple of years after dropping out of college when he did not do well in his AS levels. After changing his focus, his hard work paid off, and he leaves the college with a C in psychology, an A in sociology, a C in English language and literature, and an A-star in an extended project. He is now heading to the University of Birmingham to study sociology. Enrico said, "My advice to anyone out there currently at a crossroads is to take the initiative and work hard, as it will pay off. I'm proud of my achievements, but I will never get a big head, as you never know what's round the corner." Congolese national Hosanna Makanda from Palmer's Green arrived in the UK in 2011 unable to speak any English, but the 20-year-old secured an A-star, 2 A's and a B to win a place at the University of Birmingham and to study law. The City and Islington College student said, "I am so happy to get these results. I've had an amazing journey at the college from knowing no English to getting these results. My teachers have helped me so much and have helped me believe in myself and become passionate about my subject." Enfield Borough Council leader, Councillor Doug Taylor, said, "These are excellent results which reflect the hard work and determination of our young people and their teachers. They build on the great results achieved last year and reflect the year-on-year improvements we are seeing in our schools. Well done to all the students and their teachers." Hear, hear.
We have now reached the end of side 1 of this tape. Please stop your machine now. Take out the cassette, turn it over and start side 2.